Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all, best mini golf obstacle.
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcast should have a theme song. Podcast should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it.
You know what?
You're right. We got this.
Hal Lublin steps up. He's got his putter in his hand. There's a calm wind blowing. Not too much. Doesn't matter. The ball never leaves the ground. And, oh, it's in the lava. Too bad for Hal Lublin. Too bad. Hal, when we saw this topic, we were both very excited.
Yes, we were. This was suggested by Shelley Godefren.
Oh, Shelley. Hi, Shelley.
Who always in the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/we got this podcast, will come in. No matter what the topic is, she will come in hot afterwards and not only question or support the decision, but the entire methodology goes on trial. Everything goes on trial. Thank you, Shelley.
Grabs the suspenders and the extending pointer.
That's right.
Because they didn't have the laser pointer in the days of Clarence Darrow.
No, they didn't.
No, they did.
It was only 2 years after that.
You know what else they didn't have back then?
What?
Miniature golf, Hal. Hal, we can't talk about this by ourselves. We need help.
That's right. We have a friend who I met last year in Nashville, and you would have been there, Mark, if I had checked my email and known that they invited We Got This to the convention. He is a co-founder of the Multitude Podcast Network. He hosts Join the Party and is one of the creators, one of the originators of the Horse Podcast, on which I have appeared talking about basketball. It's Eric Silver.
What's up, Eric?
That's me. Hello.
From your beautiful Multitude studio, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm just commenting on it before we started recording.
I know that you're going to take a photo because I've looked at your social media to make sure that I would be properly prepared for this.
Oh,
and there's going to be this photo of me where it looks like this is a found footage horror movie of
it does look like a security camera.
Right. This is like the Five Nights at Freddy's, like putting it together. It's like there's a podcaster who's reporting on the fact that the Freddy's monsters come to life. So you're going to see this.
That's a good COVID horror movie. There have been COVID horror movies. I like it.
I'm really waiting for podcaster to be like the job du jour of both horror movies and rom-coms.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Isn't that like the schlubby guy? Like if Knocked Up was happening in 2021, then Seth Rogen's character, instead of doing a Mr. Skin ripoff, which aged so well, thank you.
Yeah.
It's like, no, they have a terrible podcast together where they argue about movies.
Oh,
that is 100% true. They tried to do it. That TV show with Zach Braff tried to do it.
Was that his job? He was podcaster?
He was a podcaster.
No, that's where we where they tried to convince us that Alex Bloomberg, public radio master turned capitalist captain, apparently is a relatable person for a network sitcom.
I don't know if the podcaster is going to make the top slot, if that show's going to take off, but definitely a sidekick who has a podcast. Is going to be a thing for a very long time, which I'm here for.
So really esoteric podcast. It's like, which cheese is best? 20 episodes.
Look, you basically just described our show.
We do it in one. In Name That Tune, we're the winner. We can do it in one episode. We don't need 20 episodes to pick the best cheese.
Look, we don't do esoterica on this show like what's the best cheese. No, we do important stories. Like what's the best miniature golf obstacle.
Yeah.
That is what we are here to talk about today.
Eric, you picked this topic.
Yes, I did.
Among a few others, but this is the shining star and the one you were most excited about when you gave us your choices off the list. Why did you pick it? Tell us about your life as a mini golfer.
Absolutely. I feel like mini golf combines the things that I love the most, which is one, the skill and sportingness of an actual like sport, but the low stakes and the ability for me to drink beer at the same time.
100%.
And like the fact that I can have a purple ball really speaks to me. It's like, no, I'm not going to go out on the links. I'm not going to like do any business deals. I want to hit it in this clown's mouth, and I want to find the hex code of my ball later. Like, that's what I want.
Oh, I love that.
Mark, were you a mini golfer? So I'll as a child, I played in Northeast Philadelphia. We would go to Burholm Park to play mini golf all the time. Then you would go down the shore to like Wildwood or Ocean City, and you would play mini golf there. Like, it was just all the time. My second date with my wife was mini golf at Sherman Oaks Castle Park.
Great date. Great date activity.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's so good. And you can be it scratches my competitive itch. Even though there are no stakes, I get really competitive and want to do well, which
is
Jennifer
the fun thing
does.
about it, I think.
Yeah.
That there are no stakes, so it's easy to get competitive, and it's never hateful competitive.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's always
what is your
joy.
Oh, by the way, actually, when I went to the CN Tower in Toronto when I was 19, which is the age at which you can legally drink, all I wanted to do was play laser tag and mini golf, and that was what I did. We did not go to the top of the tower. We played laser tag and mini golf at the base, and that was a great day for this guy right here.
That's kind of how everyone drinks there, though, because I remember I thought it was funny when I crossed the border from the United States at Niagara Falls into Canada. And which is where a bunch of American 19-year-olds, cross the border to go drink in Canada. So all of the bars on the other side had mini golf and skee ball and bungee walls and all of this stuff. And I thought to myself, oh yeah, this is what, if I was 19, this was like, yeah, this is what I think a bar should be. It would be a bar that would be Josh Baskin's bar from Big.
I have a lot of experience actually doing these activities in that Toronto area because I went to a Jewish summer camp in the boonies of Ontario.
No,
my dad went there when he was a kid, and like there is a constellation of Jewish summer camps that all belong to the same system, and like that area of the Midwest. My dad is from Erie, Pennsylvania, in between Cleveland and Pittsburgh. So he went to the one outside of Toronto. So I went there with my brother starting when we were 8 years old. And we would always drive up together because we were coming all the way from New York City, which was not part of like the area. So we couldn't take a bus or whatever. So my dad found so many activities like this to entertain us. Like you said, mini golf and laser tag in Toronto. And like there's like 14-year-old me sweating through an American Eagle t-shirt and running around calling myself Sarge and yelling at like some people that really didn't know how intense this laser tag was.
Playing probably against Hal. At some point.
As a 19-year-old.
You may have wound up 12-year-old you and 19-year-old Hal. Who the hell is Sarge?
Why am I letting Sarge?
Oh,
who is that? The other memory it triggered. The other memory it triggered is that I remember going to Hamilton, Ontario, which is like the Pittsburgh of Ontario. Like the biggest, the most prominent thing in Hamilton are the giant smokestacks you can see from miles away.
Sure.
And I remember going to this karting place, and it was some back alley dangerous ass karting. I remember going 30 miles per hour and ramming into my brother, and even then, while I was having the time of my young life, I was like, there needs to be some sort of rule system. Shout out Hamilton, Ontario.
Yeah, as a child reenacting the end of Ford versus Ferrari. even and you would think that of all the places that Canada would have some sort of regulation and safety in place, but no.
Turns out no.
But mini golf is that high stake, especially when it's like in the dark or radiated, like the neon.
Oh yeah, blacklight mini golf.
Blacklight mini golf, yeah.
I like the crazy ones. Where I grew up, we had putt-putt. And putt-putt in the 1950s started as, we are not going to do all those shenanigans with windmills and mouths and all that. No, this is going to be, there might be a curve. There might be a little hump, but we are grown-ups and putt-putt is a real sport. So that was my local growing up.
And we're respectable Protestant families.
Yes.
Going to play putt-putt.
Oh my God. Yeah. But I was Catholic, and what the Catholic kids did was we went to Gatlinburg, and it was like if you're only allowed to have Snackwell's fat-free cookies at home, then when you leave town and go on vacation, you're like, I'm going to pour Oreos in a bowl and pour milk on them and eat them like cereal. That was how we devoured gimmicky mini golf.
So it was like me going to college.
Yeah.
And discovering like, oh, I can just turn this dial and Fruit Loops will come out forever.
Oh no.
Well, who kept this from me? I thought that Honey Nut Cheerios were sugar cereal. This is going to be great.
Yeah.
And I can put
Honey Nut Sugar
on
cereal
there?
was twice a month I was allowed that.
Yeah.
There's ice cream where?
Special.
Where are you keeping the ice cream? It's right there.
Whenever
There's
want.
hard and soft. Excuse me?
Oh,
I think I've already told the story on here, but just for Eric very quickly. One time, you were only allowed to take like 2 cookies with you out of the cafeteria at Haven.
Classic.
And I had like a tray with 18 of them, and the woman told me that I had to either eat them or leave them there, so I left them there spelling out FU. Just the letters FU on the trays, and then I had to write a letter of apology.
Yeah.
I got reported and written up.
College. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we all have a fond affinity for mini golf, it seems. Mm-hmm. Do you guys prefer the putt-putt, no, we are grown-ups about this mini golf, or do you want the zany stuff?
Oh, the weirder the better. 100%. I also want it to be difficult. And this is also the competitive person in me as well. Like, I want to compete. I want to do something that is zany, because like the thing is about golf is that it's just like, go that way. And it's like, oh, there's some sand, there's some water, but like, if I need to go around obstacles, that is 100% what I want to do. Is I want to challenge myself, and I want to demonstrate to all my friends that although they might see me as a respectable person in this way, I am a golf master and they should treat me as such.
Yeah. Yeah, you deserve respect because those windmill blades are wide at that one particular course that you guys go to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I went to a mini golf place once out here. When I first moved to Los Angeles, I stayed in Valencia, way out there. And they had a mini golf place that was just a series of putting greens. So it was actual grass. It was I was so mad.
That's not
that
mini golf.
Spent even a penny. I was like, there's not even like a hump on the ground. There are no big plastic turtles. What am I doing here? Like, who is this for? This is, if you want to practice putting, you can just go to your country club and there's a putting green with like 5 holes and you can just.
Whoa. Easy privilege. You can just go to your country club.
Well, they can. I don't have a country club. I went to the country club diner as a kid.
The weirdest part about that, was, especially all the people, who were driving past you and was like, hey, get out of the way of the driving range. People paid for this.
I'm like, hey, just calm down. I'm practicing. I'm short game.
I'm doing mini golf.
Yeah. Look, I'm almost done. I only have 14 more holes to go.
Oh my God.
I'm forgetting the map. Stop talking to me.
Get out of the way.
Yeah. But we had, I think, what was the putt-putt? I think that franchise was in the Northeast, and it was like the few times I went there, it was always a massive letdown. I want craziness, but I hate indoor because it feels like they're trying to feels like you're trying to turn a 1-bedroom apartment into a 4-bedroom apartment.
Oh, I don't mind indoor.
Room, and I don't like the fake smoke. I don't like the fake smoke. I want to see what's going on.
It's like a dark ride at Disney. I like the dark rides.
You want to play mini golf inside Mr. Toad's Wild Ride?
100%. Have we met?
That's true.
Yeah. I would love to play mini golf inside Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
The dynamite.
The ride where the whole point is you get drunk, drive a car, get in a crash with a train, and go to hell. That's the plot of that ride.
If I walked up to a mini golf course and it was called Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, I would buy a season pass. I don't even know. Like divorce from all the Disney, just if that was the name, I'd be like, yeah, dude. I don't know. Can I pre-punch this punch card for you?
Oh man.
Can I have a job just so I can come here after hours to continue the fun?
I am telling you right now, I need a 30% discount. Do you have availability?
Oh my God. What do you do? Oh, I'm a caddy over at how much you make? Oh, I get a 30% discount. It's great.
Tips though.
Tips though.
Sometimes a 6-year-old will put their ice cream directly into my hand.
I got a parachute soldier last week. Definitely hold on to that one.
What was your number one in the cheap bin in the arcade frequently adjacent to a miniature golf course? You get some skee ball tickets, but you don't get that many. You got to get something out of the cheap bin.
It has to be Sticky Hand, right?
Sticky Hand is pretty great. I was finger cuffs.
Oh, that's a good one.
Finger cuffs are always fun.
Is Super Ball, does that count? The little rubber?
Yeah, Super Ball was on the list.
I like a Super Ball. I want something that bounces really high that I can toss off walls.
Yeah.
This is also our all of our superhero code names.
Sticky
Super
Hands,
Ball.
Super Ball,
and Finger Cuffs.
Finger Cuffs.
And Finger Cuffs. Oh, jeez.
You picked it, dude. Just live with it. Don't kink shame yourself.
That's true. I'm not kink shaming myself. All right. Hey guys, but we're done playing video games in the arcade. Let's go out onto our course. I think this will be a fun way to determine which one of these is the best obstacle. So we've put together here an 18-hole miniature golf course for us to play right now.
I love this because I wasn't sure how this prep was going to go. And then Hal sent me a document and say, hey, just for reference, like you would scribble down 5 ideas and one of them was clown. But then I look at it and it's this beautifully manicured table with all 18 holes and an obstacle on each one. And I'm like, oh, we're in the big leagues now. Put me in, coach. Let's go.
Look, we learned from the best. We learned from Kate McManus, and she's the best.
I was on the Toledo Mudhens before, but I'm eating like a major leaguer right now.
Steak dinner, baby.
All right. So we're stepping up to the first hole. The first hole is very simple. It's a hill, a straight on hill. Look, a hill is fun in a game of golf. It's not going to win best obstacle. Right. Are we all in agreement on this?
Yes. I don't think favorite. Wait, so are we saying, is it best? Is it favorite? Or just like—
That's a good call. What do we want the criteria to be?
Yeah, I think we're looking for the best, so it can't be the favorite. I think we're looking for something that combines fun, but also is a challenge. Mm-hmm. Because I think you want to, if you're able to defeat this obstacle or somehow use it properly. Like some of these are banked areas or rise areas where you can get an angle and maybe get a hole in one that way, but you want to feel accomplished when you get past it.
Yeah. I agree with this. This speaks to my dungeon master brain. Which I'm really glad that I did. One of the choices was best Dungeons and Dragons class. And I just want to come out and say it's Monk. Like, I don't even know why we need to argue about it. It's just Monk. But
we're going to have to talk off about this. Because I'm curious. I have D&D Beyond and I've created like 40 characters just for fun.
Yeah, of course.
I tend to play magic users all the time because spells. But, I made a monk and I was like, I don't know it doesn't seem like he can do a lot of damage, but we'll talk about it later.
Well, to the point, Ed, Join the Party is a Dungeons and Dragons podcast, so I am the DM of that, and it really speaks to that part of the brain. So it's this idea of, and why I want the wackiness of this, is I want to imagine that the mini golf maker is watching you play, like maybe from a perch 3 stories up and has like opera glasses. And
like Seneca Crane in the Hunger Games as he just walks around and release the wolves.
Yeah, and it's like, what did they do? And I think that this might be my personal criteria as I figure out what is best, is like what has challenged you, but also you're delighted in having fun. That Seneca Crane with his opera glasses is like, yes, I've done it.
Yeah, you don't want to be like glaring back at him like, you almost killed me, you murderer. No, you want to, well played. A gloved clap.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of these slopes are the opposite of what we're looking for.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I had like 11 contenders. All right. Let's move on to hole number 2. Hole number 2 is the same as hole number 1, a hill, except it's an angled hill. These are eliminated not just because they are not terribly exciting, but also because I hate them. An angled hill on a mini golf course sends me so off trajectory. I don't understand physics, so I'm not good at mini golf.
You don't know the angle. You have to know the angle if you're going uphill or downhill. Now, is it worse? Is it more frustrating to be higher up and have to go down into the hole, or is it harder to go up and get to the hole that way? Because you're trying to hit it just right. You don't want to hit it too hard because it'll bounce off the wall and come right back down. Is that harder for you?
For me, if I'm at the top going down, it's easier because I just tap it as gently as I can. And then if my trajectory is off, at least it's going to stop when it gets to the bottom of the hill.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. This is what I'm saying. The opposite. Like, you don't get joy when you do it, but when you mess up, especially if you're shooting up and then it rolls all the way back down.
Exactly.
It's just like, I pay taxes. Why can't I do this? I have so much debt from college. Why can't I figure this out?
Why is this on top of that?
I have a degree.
Why is it chilly on that Sunday?
Yeah.
It's bad enough.
Why I do like that? Why is this pirate themed? And yet it's just a hill.
Do you, I want to ask this before we go any further. This is important. Do you, or have you ever, do you make a regular, everybody's done it at least once. Do you kick the ball in if you get really close and you're like tired of it?
No.
Oh, no.
Never, Mark?
Never.
Never either of you? Never in your lives?
Never in my life. No.
I think it's the competitiveness, like the Michael Jordan competitiveness, not like Shooter McGavin competitiveness, where I want to decimate my opponent the right way because of my sheer skill, not because I'm trying to save face.
Hal has a lot more Shooter McGavin in him.
That's not true. I don't do that. I don't. If I'm over the limit, I'll just go, I will, rather than just pick the ball up and move on, I will make sure it goes in the hole by hook or by crook. But I do not, by and large, and as a kid, like if I'm with my parents and one of us is doing really poorly, the other person would stand with their feet on either side of the hole just to make it easier.
Sure.
Like, let's move along.
Yeah.
But now I would never, Mark, how dare you besmirch my golfing status here on this podcast in front of thousands.
I'm sorry, Hal. I apologize. You know what? We'll talk about it later in the country club.
I'll be having the Caesar salad.
All right. Hole number 3, the L turn. Again, another simple one. That's just knowing angles.
It's a dog leg.
A dog leg. It's not going to win.
A dog leg.
Right. If it's like regular golf, it's not fun.
Neither is number 4, a hump, which is like a speed bump. Just, I differentiate that from a hill in that it's small and it's designed to just, you got to get over it.
I like when there's a bunch of them.
That's fun when there's a bunch of them that you can do like a little slaloming.
Oh, if you get that right, you feel like the Lord of all time and creation.
If you do 3 humps in a row,
Oh my god, 3 humps and then in? Because if you master those 3, it's like, that's go buy a lottery ticket if you can do that.
100%. I think this is the best one out of the first 4, which are all just like, if I can do this, can I make this in Animal Crossing? Are these first 4?
Can you make a mini golf course in Animal Crossing?
Oh, I don't know.
Sort of.
I'm not sure.
You could draw one on. You could draw on the hole and stuff, but you could make a facsimile of one.
I'm sure someone is screaming at their phone right now, being like, I didn't spend 20 hours for Eric
you need the dodo code.
For me to recreate my Happy Gilmore jersey in the clothes editor and put it together.
Oh, God. All right. Well, let's all go mini golfing and Animal Crossing. Yeah. But first, we have to finish this course. We're on to hole number 6. Hole number 6. Hole number 5. Blocks. Just little blocks in the way. Not going to win.
It feels unfinished.
Yeah. Number 6 feels finished and is frequently a lot of fun. This is another one that if you get it right and you nail it, you feel so good about yourself. Is the right angle zigzag block. So there's no clear path to the hole, but if you can bank it correctly off a series of right angle triangles, it will continue on in the right direction.
Yeah.
That one I think is a subtle masterpiece.
It's the same skill set that you would use to be good at pool, is knowing angles and knowing just basic geometry. Angle of reflection is what you're looking for. And also velocity, how fast you have to hit it to get it to go.
I feel like pool people and mini golf people don't mix. I feel like they're two separate. Although it's very similar, like motions and skills. Yeah. It's like, no. I need to have my fun with colored balls inside a dank bar. It's like, no, you don't understand. I need to have fun with my colored balls hitting them at different angles outside with 8-year-olds around me.
Yeah. It's whether you want your beer out of glass or plastic as well. Because I think that at a mini golf course, they usually put it in a plastic cup with a lid and a sippy straw.
Fair.
By the way,
if it's pirate themed, it counts for both.
That's right. By the way, every billiards hall you go to will either be the worst lit place or the most overlit place you've ever been. Like, it's a serious place when it's like there are 900 fluorescent lights on the ceiling, so you can't miss. There are no shadows. You can see everything. You can train for the Olympics or whatever the top of your sport is. You can be the Jeanette Lee of the 21st century, whatever you want.
You can also tell if there's more than one person that has a glove that fits only a couple weirdly of their fingers.
Yeah, like an archer.
That's like a very specific glove for this one thing.
Mm-hmm.
He has a button-down shirt that says finger cuffs on the back.
He's a fan of my superhero alter ego.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you sponsored him.
Yeah, that's true. Oh my God. All right. Our next one. Now I think we're getting kind of fun. Now we're getting into the cooler ones. And these you will actually find on the more manicured miniature golf courses rather than the rinky-dink ones, as they used to call them back in the day. You didn't think I was going to do this without a little bit of history.
Sure.
Do you know how all of these obstacles wound up on miniature golf courses?
It was punishment.
It was the Great Depression.
Oh.
You were close with punishment.
Yeah.
See?
The idea during the Great Depression came about because mini golf courses had always been around, but they were these beautiful miniature versions of actual golf courses. Little sand traps, little water hazards, like frequently of the golf course that it was next to, just a mini version. But in the Depression, they didn't have money, so they'd be like, hey, just throw that pipe out there. He's got to hit it through the pipe, or make him go around these tires. And then a guy from East Tennessee, where I'm from, in the 1920s, took that idea and opened up a giant chain. And then it became immensely popular after that. So there's just a little bit of the history for you. I say that because this one, the bridge, makes me think of this sort of bridges the two different styles of mini golf courses. This feels like one that you would find at a rinky-dink or a, colorful themed or whatever course, but also at like a well-manicured, the mini golf course on some, on House Country Club.
Groverton Downs? Groverton Downs Country Club? Yes, we had one of those.
Named after General Groverton Downs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he slept there in 1791.
You have to know a relative of his to get in.
That's right. Groverton Downs of the American Revolution is our group. We're GDAR, and if you're not on the GDAR radar, you ain't getting in. That's what they say.
Ooh. And it says that in Latin over the door.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's
weird
fine.
that there's a Latin word for radar.
No, it's fine. Radar. I know his grandchild. We go from college. I called him Downsy.
There you go.
No, Downsy can hook me up.
He's like, hey, what's up, dude?
What's up, Downsy, dude?
3 popped collars.
Oh my God.
Downsy, my man.
He just,
hey, my friend Hal's in there. Can you let me in?
You sneak over the wall again.
But we're talking about the bridge, and this is when the course or the pathway from the tee to the hole narrows at some point into a bridge that goes over an actual water feature. Mm-hmm. You guys both made us sound like that is not an exciting one.
No, I think that it depends on the water feature. Because when there's like that cup that's attached to a pole is like hanging on a hook, and you're like, oh man, I bet my ball can go in the river, and then I gotta fish it out before I lose it, and the guy at the front's gonna charge me $6. Like I gotta grab it, and then it's like, oh, it's on. So I feel like this is subject to the water beneath it.
Yeah, but that's an interesting point though. That makes this one a stakes raiser in that you could potentially lose your ball and have to spend $6 on another ball from the guy at the front. So it is, non-artificial, ironic stakes if you're an adult and, feverish stakes if you're a child. But
I'm sure I've lost a mini golf ball before, generally in like a really thick shrub, but I've never seen a water feature. I'm like, well, that's the Mariana Trench. If it goes in there and I can't get it with the pole, it's gone forever. It's going to be all those creatures from Aquaman are just going to eat it up. That's their whole diet are pink and blue and purple and orange and green and yellow golf balls that get dropped. By the way, if you get stuck with the white mini golf ball, first of all, if the place only has white balls, you know it's going to be the worst time ever.
Yeah.
But
or it's going to be the jankiest, most amazing time ever.
Yeah.
Because they don't get proprietary about it. Like, hey, who cares? When it falls behind the barbed wire, just go buy a box of Titleist.
But if you have one of those, if you select that, you might as well just eat mayonnaise out of the jar for all 3 of your meals every single day. You're playing mini golf. Live a little.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Vinny Giovanni, and here's my new golf course, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
May I have a season pass, please?
Mr. Giovanni, I love
it. All right. We got another one coming up, number 8. We are on hole number 8 now, and that is the ramp jump. The ramp jump is similar to the bridge in that there's a space in the green where it goes over either a chasm or water or lava or whatever is in this particular course. But there is no bridge. So you have to give it a little oomph and get it over. So if you're not using the cup on a stick to get your ball at hole number 7, you might need it during hole number 8.
Yeah.
I think it's more challenging than it is fun would be what I would say.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of my ball getting air, which is the peak of my 11-year-old life. Is like,
sure.
Oh, did you see that? I made my ball fly in the air, but it was for okay reasons. But this also introduces the extra layer of difficulty in not hitting your ball terribly outside of the mini golf course and then owing the other guy $6.
Right. Yeah.
It's definitely, and there's nothing more embarrassing, I think, than hitting it so hard that it skitters away and you have to go run after it.
Yeah.
No finesse game.
Is there a kid in the world who understands I know I didn't when I was a kid, who understands the concept of just hit it a little bit harder than you would normally? Just a little bit harder.
No,
I'm talking arm full swing back.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've done that. I've done that before. I clocked my mother in the face with a putter.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. When I was like, I don't know, 8 or 9. Teen.
God, that's
I just cocked it back, swung as hard as I could. No, I did. I legitimately, I don't know how. I was a very weak child, or else she would have had a bruise on her face.
Oh my God.
But I totally clocked her. I was so excited to be swinging that way. I just didn't check for clearance. I felt awful that I hit her, but I was like, for sure in my head, I will swing this like an actual golf club, which I didn't know how to do, and it will fly in the air and then land squarely in the cup, and I will become president.
Yeah. And then people will pick you up and put you on their shoulders and march you around.
That's right.
In slow motion.
Parade down Broad Street.
Oh my God.
I don't think I learned how to check for clearance until I was 26.
Which is scary because didn't you say that this was a good date idea for you?
Yeah, that's why it was a good date idea. I kept having to use it.
Jeez. Like all of your dates come home and oh my God, how was your date? Tell me all about the guy. Well, when we got back from the hospital,
you bring a girl there and then she's just like, why is that girl with the eye patch at the snack bar glaring at you?
Hey, don't worry about it. She's an ex. It's fine.
Okay, I guess it's your turn. I'll stand directly behind you.
Fits in with the pirate theme. It's not related.
Boo.
Ha-cha-cha-cha-cha. We brought some real Borscht Belt energy into this podcast.
It's thick. The borscht is thick.
All right. This is the first, this is the final one of the front 9, and that is the wedge. Think of the wedge as called the wedge because it sits just on top of the course. Think of it like cornhole in that the hole is on the ramp, and those things are infuriating. Meaning there's no way if you don't get it on the stroke, it is coming back to you. There's no way, the choice isn't get it or get it a little closer. The choice is get it or it rolls past your feet and is further away than it was before.
Yeah.
Oh. There's nothing
I feel like
worse.
this is the worst version of everything, all of the Animal Crossing obstacles that we've talked about.
The wedge is a nightmare.
Outside of accidentally smacking a parent in the face with your putter, there's nothing more embarrassing than hitting your ball up a hill and have it be short, either well short or just short. Maybe just short is worse. And then have it roll back and back and back. And you see it sort of gaining momentum as it's heading back towards the rubber pad that you're supposed to use as a tee until it is 5 holes back. Like that is the way you will lose balls more than anything else, is it will roll back into like a shrub or through a fence or whatever. It's so, you're so defeated because not only are you not good, but physics itself is conspiring to tell you this is not you. This is not what you do. Get out of here.
Yeah, I've never kicked a ball into the hole as a gimme, but I have, on the receiving end of a wedge, spread my feet out as wide as they would go, and then, oops, it accidentally hit my foot when it rolled back down. I have done that one.
Damn.
I'm sure it was very convincing every time you did it. The perfect crime. You figured it out.
Just one more thing. You usually don't stand like that. You usually stand with your feet straight on.
The worst part was every time you did it, Mark, you turned to the people you were playing with and said, "Ain't I a stinker?" Really?
Hang on, I gotta go inside and get a plastic cigar.
Which was really unnecessary because everyone saw you do it.
Yeah, they knew it was happening. All right, before we move on to the back nine, where the real excitement begins, why don't we take a quick break and hear about some of the other fantastic podcasts on the Maximum Fun Network.
Are you feeling elevated levels of anxiety? Do you quake uncontrollably, even thinking about watching cable news? Do you have disturbing nightmares, only to realize it's 2 p.m. and you're up? If you've experienced one or more of these symptoms, you may have FNO, news overload. Fortunately, there's treatment. Hi, I'm Dave Holmes, host of Troubled Waters. Troubled Waters helps fight FNO. That's because Troubled Waters stimulates your joy zone. On Troubled Waters, 2 comedians will battle one another for pop culture supremacy. So join me, Dave Holmes, for two doses of Troubled Waters a month. The cure for your news overload. Available on MaximumFun.org or wherever you get your podcasts.
Schmanners. Noun. Definition. Rules of etiquette designed not to judge others, but rather to guide ourselves through everyday social situations.
Hello, Internet. I'm your husband host, Travis McElroy.
And I'm your wife host, Teresa McElroy.
Every week on Schmanners, we take a look at a topic that has to do with society or manners. We talk about the history of it. We take a look at how it applies to everyday life. And we take some of your questions. And sometimes we do a biography about a really cool person that had an impact on how we view etiquette. So join us every Friday and listen to Schmanners on MaximumFun.org or wherever podcasts are found.
Manners, schmanners. Get it?
And we're back.
All right. Let's move on to the back nine.
Do we agree, by the way, there was nothing in the front nine that we would take as a finalist?
Sorry, I was still considering whether or not I wanted to listen to Schmanners. I got distracted.
Oh, you weren't sold?
You do want to listen to Schmanners.
You do. Of course you do.
I hope we have a Schmanners ad in this week.
Well, we do.
I'm really calling my shot on that one.
Yeah. You really are. That's great.
No, I listen to McElroy content. It's fine. I'm allowed to be on here, Jesse. It's fine. It's okay.
You're a Mac
I would say bridge. If anything, I would love to take something from the front nine, even if it's not going to win.
I think the elegance of the bridge, and the excitement that the bridge often entails, especially when there is an accompanying footpath bridge that goes along with it, is a lot of fun.
And you can stylize it. It's very flexible. It can be like a medieval drawbridge. It could be a sort of a rope bridge like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. It could be whatever kind of bridge you want it to be. It could be the Brooklyn Bridge, for goodness sakes.
I think that you make a really great point, Hal, in that one of the details or one of the criteria is that the details that you can add to a particular obstacle. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't make a hill interesting, You can make a bridge interesting. And some of these that we have coming up are interesting on their own, but some of them are open to a million interpretations, which I think is kind of a fun element of them for themed places.
Absolutely.
So let's move on to the first hole of the back nine, hole number 10. This is one of my favorites. Putt Putt actually did this one, and that is the cylinder. The cylinder is, if you're looking at the hole, and the hole is always on 2 levels, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at a hole that's on 2 levels, and you have multiple holes that you can hit it into on the top level, which go down through cylinders that shoot those out either close to or far away from the final hole.
Yeah. Before I saw the spreadsheet, this was my pick. And I'm going to ride or die for cylinder.
Yeah.
Which is something I did not think I was going to say.
No, I feel you.
But I think that I have the moment, because you don't realize what's happening as a kid. You're just like, there's a hole here, and then there's where does it go? And then you run around, and you're like, oh, there's the rest of the hole, oh man! And then you run back, and then someone does it, and then you need to run and watch it go. And then it's like, oh, did you do the good one? Did you do the bad one? And then it's like, where you are in the order also determines how, it's just chance. Like, it's just where, whatever order you're using to go forward. I'm just having a moment where my dad definitely challenged us to a skins game in a putt-putt game. And, like, that just, like, washed over me while I was describing this. I'm like, why would he do this? Why would I know what a skins game was when I was 12?
Is your father John Daly? Do you want to just come out and say that now so that we can get it out of the way?
No, he's not John Daly. He's the commissioner of basketball, Adam Silver.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I have to talk to him. I have some bones to pick with him.
Yeah, I need to tell him to stop looking like Nosferatu when he's talking to other people. But yes, cylinder truly is because of the level and you don't understand engineering yet, and that it's just a cylinder. But like the wonder of it is something that I love the most.
I think there's a plus for the cylinder and a minus for the cylinder. The minus for the cylinder is, do you think there's diminishing returns on the cylinder for a course that you return to? You know what I mean? Like if your local has a cylinder, the second time, third time, fourth time you play that course, you just know which hole to go to.
Fair. But I would also say that in good cylinder courses, the holes are close enough together that it's possible for, it's not easy.
Right.
And also, like, when playing putt-putt, have you nailed the thing you wanted to do?
Of course. And I've also seen them that have a tumbler in them where it actually just goes into one hole at the top, and then underground it could split into any one of 3. So you really don't know where it's going to come out. That's another fun variation on this. The plus, I think, for this one that I always loved as a kid was that game you mentioned, the running down and running back up and running down and running back up. And you would kind of do it as a group every time someone at the top. It was like, it's one of the only exciting moments for everybody in a mini golf game of like, guys, Hal's about to putt on the one where you don't know where it's going to come out. And so you do the run up and run down. And as small a moment as that is, it's always a memorable one.
Well, you follow the sound. When you hit it, you hear you hear it working its way through the pipes, which is a very satisfying, like, that's part of the mystery is you're solving it. You're like Sherlock Holmes for a second. If we follow this sound, we'll certainly find where the ball will deposit itself. But I don't like the randomized aspect of it because that takes the challenge away. That says you can hit a perfect shot.
You've got these 3 holes and you know where it goes.
I want to know what I'm aiming for. Yeah.
And there's frequently a hard one and an easy one too.
Exactly. The easy one's going to drop. Sometimes it'll drop you down several levels. You'll go from the top level to the middle level. And then you have to hit it in another hole, and it's like another pair of holes. And one of the, like, it becomes the beauty of that system is it becomes a choose your own adventure. Yeah. So it's without a doubt a finalist. Will it win? We don't know yet.
I think at this point, this is our clear contender.
Yes.
Over the bridge. Like, I mean, since we're going kind of linear in this, we can have them do battle with one another as they go. So there's only one Highlander at a time.
I like that. I do like that.
So right now the Highlander is the cylinder. Makes sense. Yeah. Scotland, the Highlands, inventors of golf. First miniature golf course was 1867 in Scotland. And for the ladies, because it was unseemly for a woman to raise a golf club above her waist.
Bizarre.
I know.
Good thing there's no discrimination against women now.
We fixed it.
Yeah, thank goodness
everybody.
we fixed it. Thank goodness.
High five, two other white dudes. The next we have, so the cylinder is the Highlander right now. Hole number 11. Hole number 11, this is one that is up to a million different interpretations. This is a shoot through, this is a basic, we're going to get to more of these later. This is a basic shoot through tunnel, which is an obstacle in the middle of the course with a small hole on the front and a small exit hole on the back and some sort of tunnel in the middle. This is your get it in the clown's mouth. This is your, you have to get it in through the doors of the barn. This is a great spot, I think, for a theming element. Like, if it's He-Man themed, you've got to get it right down the middle of Castle Grayskull. You know what I mean? Like, this is the one that you can really play with. What do you guys think of the straight up shoot through tunnel?
This one feels the most like a carnival game in that I forget the name of the character I created earlier. Hold on.
Bottle Cap?
No, Giovanni.
Yeah, Giovanni Vincenzo that runs Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Sure.
He's like, no, the way I was just about to do Christopher Walken there. I don't know.
I thought you were
why.
doing John Travolta. Vinny Barbarino's checking in.
The way that we're gonna get people to stay is if we make it challenging. So we gotta cut the hole really small.
Yeah.
So I feel like there was never a reason to go for the middle one. You always needed to go around, and then it might as well just be blocks.
Yeah.
Also, I think of something that counts against this type of obstacle is that it never works on its own. It's just a pipe. It's just a hole in a statue. What the statue is only affects the theming. It doesn't do anything to add to the challenge, really. And it's nice to look at. The people who design this stuff they do very good work, but it doesn't work as well unless you have a bridge or a ramp or a jump or something to add to the degree of difficulty. It's rarely, and if it has that, it becomes really challenging and you want to go around. If it doesn't have it, then it just doesn't feel exciting. Like, all right, you want me to just shoot for that hole in a piece of wood? I'm about to do that the other way when I get to the end and try and hit it into that hole.
Yeah.
So this does not knock the cylinder off the top slot.
I just don't think so.
The shoot through tunnel is going to get 3 more chances based on other elements that are added to it.
I don't know if you could tell that this was from the Great Depression, but we have 4 tunnels. We have 4 tunnel obstacles we're going to talk about.
The next two are the most, we can talk about them together. Hole 12 and hole 13, because they're basically the same thing. It is just a wall of chains. The chain wall just dangles over, which what it does is it creates a bunch of tiny obstacles that are movable, but barely. So that's the chain wall. The other version of the chain wall is the tire dodger, which is like a chain wall, but with tires attached to the ends of the chains. The exact same concept, which is just, this one seems to harken back the most to the Great Depression. This is just an obstacle that's going to get in the way of the thing. Not much more than blocks at this, just fancy version of blocks. But they move a little.
I hate them so much.
You can see they're on chains, so they're fancy.
Yeah.
I got the good chains from the back. And I put the tires on the good chains.
Like, look, I know we all 3 love tacky mini golf courses.
Sure.
But there's a line, I think. Yeah, this is I might step on barbed wire at this course if they've got the tire dodger and the chain wall.
Hey, Mark. What post-apocalyptic mini golf course did you go to as a child?
I'm going to tell you where, this is a good point to bring this up. The way that I found all of these was, I did a couple of internet searches, but then I went down a bit of a rabbit hole of catalogs of companies that build miniature golf courses.
Yeah.
Weirdly, all of them have the chain wall and the tire dodger.
Cause it's cheap.
It's cheap.
Gotta be cheap.
It's cheap and it's big and flashy.
Yeah.
Is it?
So, I mean, it's
Big
definitely
and flashy. That's the adjective in the catalog. Mark's reading from the catalog. Big, flashy, chains.
Guys, I
I
grew up with
apologize.
putt-putt. Remember? That would have been the
And catalogs.
biggest, flashiest thing at the whole putt-putt. And catalogs. And I only speak catalog.
Welcome to the Sears Roebuck Mini Golf Course, where Mark is the champion.
No, Mom, see, look, these chains, they're big and flashy. Look.
So it's neither the chain wall nor the tire dodger. There's one.
Wow.
I'm going to add an element. So let's move on to hole 14. I'm adding an element to hole 14 because there is one that somehow I missed. I wrote it down on another list. I missed it on this. So we're going to have two elements in this one. The spiral channel, which I think is, that's more of a help than a hindrance. It's when, and really this can count for any sort of thing where the course narrows and sort of channels your ball into a specific place that it wants it to go.
Yeah.
And I'll say that for this course, the reason that it is doing that is for another challenge, which is the loop-the-loop. I don't know how I missed the loop-the-loop on this. Let's say that this is a spiral channel into a loop-the-loop.
I don't see those
Loop-the-loop
very
is rare.
often.
It's in all of the catalogs.
Yeah, oh, well, then I don't
Also
know
cheap.
why we don't see it on every street corner.
No, I know. I just think it was for some of these were
In
ridiculous.
the catalog.
Yeah.
Nobody,
Mom,
you're not
it's-
allowed to look on the internet anymore, Mark. I'm
Come
sorry.
on, man.
You gotta take it away.
I was scouring Carney catalogs all afternoon.
No, Mom, you have to understand, it's 2 loops for the price of one.
Mark has a gross of spider rings on the way to his apartment right now.
Ooh, Spider Ring. That's the villain in our all the toys from the bin. We all sticky hands, Super Bowl, finger cuffs. We all battle Spider Ring.
That's right.
The Spider Ring. It's a bunch of villains. So these are fun. These are rare. This doesn't beat the cylinder.
I do like Loop-de-Loop, and I really
Loop the
do
Loop's
think,
fun. It's a fun challenge.
Yeah, and I think that it's combined with one of these other ones because you're doing a challenge that doesn't necessarily change the trajectory of your ball, which I think is cool. Is that like it's going forward and then there's the loop and then it keeps going forward. So it does add an element of spice on top of the thing. But I think that this is like the highlight of a chintzy putt-putt place.
Yeah.
Which
And
you
it
can get for
only-
10 payments of $9.95.
I wonder
take
if
it.
this is,
But
I wonder
Mom,
if this, if
Two
this
loops.
is also, yeah. It's on back order, but it's gonna ship as soon as you'll get an alert when it's
back
ready for you.
order.
It's in stock.
bane of my existence.
I wonder if a criteria should be, and I think this would apply to a loop-de-loop, is generally you would only see that on like 16, 17, 18. Maybe you see it in the middle if that's where they put the most difficult hole. But I feel like the loop-de-loop is a late game because it's all warming up to whatever the 18th hole is, where they give you a practically impossible shot that if you make it into the specific container that they tell you to, you get a free game.
Yeah.
And it's a big deal. An alarm goes off and you feel so good and everybody has to turn and look at you and you get attention, which is all you want. Maybe that's why you hit your mom with the golf club. Maybe just for a second.
Hal,
You wanted everyone to look at you.
Hal, here, put this on your neck. Put this compress on your neck.
It's so cold. It's so cold. I feel so calm.
You feel okay?
Yeah, I do. Thank you.
You want a tasty cake?
I do want a tasty cake. Do I get a tasty cake?
Yes, you get a tasty cake.
Yes.
Oh, hey guys, did I miss anything in the podcast recording?
Oh, no, we're fine.
My Zoom flickered for a second.
Oh no, we're everything's fine. Everything. Our
everything's
Zoom's
fine.
flickered too. It's weird.
Oh, that's weird.
Oh.
All right. So the next three.
The weirdest part was that Mark was reaching off screen holding a tasty cake, and then Hal grabbed the tasty cake from off
out of
screen.
his video.
That was weird.
Yeah, we've Charlie Chaplin'd the internet.
Yeah.
We figured it out.
Oh
Man, who is your producer? That's wild.
Ken Plume, producer
It's
Ken Plume.
Who's silently listening to this. We're probably playing with all this toy. I feel like I like to imagine that while he's off camera and off mic and we're recording this, that he's staging battles with all of his toys.
Man, that could be some epic battles.
Oh,
Like
that- many lives are
every
lost.
power in the comic book world is represented in that battle. It's Endgame. He could do all of Endgame.
There are 900 Spider-Men, all Peter Parkers.
And they're all fighting Spider Ring all at the same time.
Oh, we
Yeah,
gotta
that's
get
right.
in there,
The
guys.
battle
What are
of
we
Spider-Man.
doing? Why are we sitting here?
It's like, someone needs to bring us 12 tickets and then we can fight.
All right. I'm just lumping ones in together. Because these are all three similar. Hole 15, hole 16, hole 17. Hole 15 is the windmill. Hole 16 is the pendulum. Hole 17 is the paddle wheel. All three basically exactly the same thing in that it is a motorized obstacle that adds a timed element to it. With the windmill, it's spinning like a clock. That's also, clocks they do that with, and wheels, the windmill being the one that you think of quickest. The pendulum, I've seen grandfather clock. I've seen like big axe, like hitting the pendulum style. That swings in front of the hole. And the paddle wheel is an interesting one, I think. Imagine a windmill, but turned in line. So instead of perpendicular, it is in line with the golfer. So the wheel is spinning, not like a tire on a car, but more like the dollar wheel on The Price is Right. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes. Have you ever, I love all of these. The windmill is an iconic,
absolutely,
probably the most iconic of these. Doesn't mean it's the best, but it is
right.
The most iconic. And the idea is not only do you have to have the right timing, but that each of these will punish you for having incorrect timing. It will sweep the ball away. For the inline, it will knock it back at you. Except I feel like every single mini golf course I've been to that has one of these, when it makes contact with the ball all of a sudden becomes Juggernaut from X-Men. and the thing just, whatever the thing is, catches, and then it becomes, the noise the motor makes is like an old dog, like kind of trying to like win it, just like
you're saying it catches the windmill and prevents it from spinning.
The windmill just stops, and it's like you're breaking his arm. There has to be at some point.
Stop it! He said sorry.
You've been looking for it. Now you're gonna get it. I wonder if there's a point. There has to be a point at which it's brand new and it is knocking stuff out of the way. That it is a world. It's like Patrick Waugh just protecting the net, knocking stuff back, and that makes it even more of a challenge. But by the time we got to it, which may have been a week after it was installed, it was just like an old rubber band where there's no stretch and it feels like it's going to break at any point. Has anybody had like a fresh one that really knocks it back?
I've not had the experience that you've had. I've gotten it knocked back more often. I mean, I don't recall specifically wow, that was forceful windmill, but like it never broke the windmill in that way. But I see how, it makes sense because if you're not putting a high quality motor into a thing that is designed to get hit with golf balls and golf clubs from frustrated people who are frustrated by the thing that you are doing and designed to do to frustrate people, I get how those things could get broken all the time.
Sure.
I feel like in the catalog, it's like you're looking.
Ooh, I'm listening.
It's like you're looking at like an Aeropostale catalog, or you're looking at like American Eagle or like one of those places, or Hollister. It's like pre-distressed obstacles. This windmill comes worn in.
Yeah. I'd like the acid washed grandfather clock, please.
Yeah. It's also like the ball's not coming in hot. You're not hitting it that hard, but the number of times that one of those obstacles has just gotten stuck under it, like they're just both slow enough to meet, which is also frustrating. Is like, oh, I thought I had the timing down. I definitely did it. But out of these three, I think paddle wheel's probably the most challenging. Yeah. But I think I like the windmill. The windmill's so classic. If I don't see a windmill on a mini golf course, it's sad. It makes me sad.
Or some sort of wheel. It doesn't necessarily have to be a windmill for me.
Yeah.
But I do like a big spinning thing.
What else do you like?
I like a timed obstacle. I've seen the wheel, like I've seen in like a carnival themed one. I've seen the wheel where it will like have, assorted things sticking off of it. I've seen like a ship's wheel before. It's an easy thing to theme to whatever your park is, and it spins. I think of these three, the windmill is.
Yeah. In Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, which is now Cajun themed in my head, there's a riverboat casino that is this. Yeah.
Oh, we're doing the paddle wheel.
I assume that's what I assumed you were talking about when you said, well, I guess it depends which way you're spinning it. Like if you're.
So the windmill is cutting you off, this way. I'm doing a hand motion.
It's
on
a perpendicular on a perpendicular,
right. On a perpendicular
trajectory.
plane.
Right.
The paddle wheel is spinning toward you. So, if you miss and you wind up hitting the paddle, it will kick your ball back to you.
Right. I feel like the paddle wheel, though, going back to what we were talking about the bridge, requires a lot of water, which is a very big feature in mini golf. Cause yo, check out all the rivers we got also while you're playing mini golf. So you have the water that's going into the paddle wheel.
The paddle wheel doesn't have water going through it.
Oh, well, I've seen some that do.
Oh, you have? You have?
Sometimes it looks like a bunch of lollipops too, where it's like, just here are some colored discs.
Man, your courses are better than the one that my brain made up with this dry.
You had a whole catalog, Mark.
I know. I had a whole catalog. I had 3, 4, 5 and I didn't even think to put water in the paddle wheel.
I feel like the one I keep coming back to is pirate themed. That feels like the most classic to me in my head. Like either there's like regular, which just has like a melange of whatever's in the catalog.
Assorted animals and
exactly.
Like, hey, that's the dinosaur next to the knight. You're like, man, okay.
I guess they kind of fit together, but where does the windmill come in? Third act problems.
Yeah.
But with the pirate, there's one that really sticks out to me. There's a really good pirate ship one in Lake Placid, New York that I've been to recently. And the reason why I keep thinking about it, because they use a lot of water in that. But next to each hole is the story of this real pirate that existed in the 1800s.
Oh,
and
I love that.
It's really it's kind of dry, like you're reading a Wikipedia page, but then you're like, oh, they got scurvy like 4 times at 4 of these 18 holes. There was a rebellion and then someone died because of injuries.
Oh, I love the idea of going through. Yeah, you get a whole history story along. There's something to read while the other golfer's going. Oh, they're speaking my language with this pirate history themed mini golf.
Hey, do you know after they took over the Black Pearl, like 8 people died of sepsis? So wild, right?
Anyway, this one's a 2-par.
No, you gotta go through the skull. I will agree. I think windmill takes it.
Windmill, yeah.
I did have a question as we're nearing the end, and I want to prolong the 18th hole like everybody does on the 18th hole. You don't want to get there. I would love to have a quick conversation about the show Holy Moly. Do y'all know about that?
I love it.
Oh my God.
It's so fun.
It's all what I want most in the entire world is to go on that show and win and have Rob Riggle scream, this guy, he's just taking her on, and scream things about how I'm doing.
Yeah, it's just Rob Riggle scream. The Rob Riggle screaming is the best part of the show, but they have come up with some. Have you seen my favorite one is the Porta-John run? Have you seen this? They have like 10 Porta-Johns in a row, each with a person inside. And on a cue, they all open their doors, and the golfer has to hit the ball and then run past the doors before every single one of the doors opens. It's hilarious to watch people get smacked with Porta-John doors and fall into the water.
It is such a combination of putt-putt golf and Wipeout, which I cannot believe anyone has come up with before. Also, Hal, do you know Steph Curry produced it and just shows up randomly?
Oh my
God.
It's he does. I've seen the animated Steph Curry on there. I haven't seen actual Steph Curry. I guess it was a COVID thing that he's recording from home, so they do animated Steph Curry too.
Oh my God, watching Steph Curry the night of the NBA draft lottery was incredible because it's on some kind of delay where his team gets the second pick, which you'd think he'd be excited about, and he's just sort of staring ahead, like waiting to be cued to do something.
Oh God.
And that's how I imagine him in Holy Moly. That's the Steph Curry I imagine is
waiting too long and then jumping in with the laugh,
staring into middle distance.
Oh my God.
It really is.
I like my Curry.
All it is about him bragging about how good he is at golf while Rob Riggle is yelling at him. I'm just like, but also that's what I want all of my sports to be.
Yeah.
Like, that is the pinnacle of sport is really just like distilling the things that I love the most, which is like the stars being so weird and quirky and not phototelegenic, and then like the characters coming in and like really just amping it up and yelling and like making jokes about all of it. So I would love to be on Holy Moly. I think it's so good. I think it truly is like the pinnacle of what I love about sport.
Yeah. When people dress like a video game avatar,
God.
they're like, yeah, you know what? I have long hair. I'm going to just put it straight up. You're like, why? Because why not?
I'm going to be on TV.
Yeah, I'm going to be on TV. Until I hit the water, my hair is going to go straight up.
Yeah, you won't know my name or my family or what I do or even what I did on the show. You will only remember my hair, but at least you'll remember me.
That's right.
50% of the people on that show are adorable, and I'm so happy they're there. And the other 50% are the worst people at a bar when you go and just want to have a chill time at like 6 p.m. on a Friday.
Yeah, I feel you.
Like they're the one queuing up like terrible music on a jukebox and like talking loudly about their Miata. Like, I'm just like, what? I hate you so much. And now you're wearing like red, white, and blue America shorts. Like, please leave me alone. Baxter Thomas V, who thinks that he's the king of mini golf and has been wearing a crown outside in cold LA in October for 5 hours. Yeah. Like, shut up.
It's the popped collar is usually a giveaway with those guys.
That's how you know.
Yeah, that's how you know.
It's also the crown.
Oh, God. And also the crown that he's wearing.
Yeah.
Going into the 18th hole, would it be fair to say that the two contenders we have right now, or do you want to do this battle right now? If we said Highlander rules before, Windmill has to battle Cylinder right now.
Let's do 18, because I don't think 18 is going to win, because Hal just said he hates it and that whole thing about attention, and then he blacked out for 30 minutes, and then you gave him a taste of cake.
You said you didn't see that. You said you didn't see.
And
you said it blipped.
It's been 5 years. The blip.
I think we should discuss that, and then we can go back, because we definitely. I feel like we.
I don't know what you're talking about. Did that happen? You know what? That was the glitch. That was the glitch. Were you watching it through like Cinemax Snow Haze? You were trying to watch it through that?
Yeah, you don't know what you saw.
Yeah.
I was on a tape delay and waiting to
also, we gaslight all of our guests.
Good. Nice.
Yeah.
Me and Zachary Levi now. Me and Zachary Levi now have two things in common.
Yeah.
That's right. Is the
you also like whatchamacallits?
No, I was also called Chuck there for a while.
Oh, see? There you go.
That was the best joke I could think of. I didn't think you would call me on the second one.
All right. Are you guys ready for the 18th?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. The 18th hole, for this particular one, there are assorted versions. It's always or frequently a, knock it in here and get a free shot. But those are more combinations of the other elements that we've had so far. Right. That's a shoot through tunnel with a bridge and a wedge at the end. You know what I mean? That's more of a combo thing. This was one that I love. One that I went to once had one of these and I loved it. And that's a bullseye basket. The bullseye basket is where you are not attempting to get it into a hole. The whole there is just a giant, it's just a giant bullseye with different stroke values on the bullseye.
Right.
So if you hit it right in the middle, that's a hole in one. But what it does is, and there's a net around it and a basket. So makes it easy for the mini golf course to collect all the balls at the end. You just smack it. It hits the bullseye or it hits wherever it hits. That's how many strokes you get for that hole. It's a 1-stroke hole. If you get a good one, you get a good one. If you don't, you're done. It's like, what's your putt out usually? 6? We always had 6 as ours.
Yeah. Like 5 or 6. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, nope, it's a 6 if you don't hit the thing. What do you think of these where it's not golf at all on the last hole?
Listen, I'm all for non-traditional. That's very interesting. And it reminds you that once you're done, you're going to have to go back and play skee ball and trying to win enough sticky hands to give all to your friends. So I think that there's some nice synergy. It is really the liminal space between the mini golf and the arcade.
There is also a skee ball version of this, where instead of hitting targets on a bullseye, it actually looks like a skee ball. So you hit your ball once and whichever cup it lands in, that's the number of strokes that you get called for that hole.
That is also a standard one. And sometimes there are 3 different ramps. And if you hit you can go in one ramp and it becomes like a Plinko where there are just different chutes.
Right. The Plinko ramps are fun too. Yeah.
The problem I have with any final hole is that it's the final hole and you really only get one shot at it. The only time you get to do it again is when it doesn't go far enough up the ramp and comes back down.
It's a carnival game. The final hole's a carnival game.
Yeah. It's meant for you to not succeed. And as opposed to being obstacles that you can overcome, I don't like that you only get one shot. I hate that all right, goodbye golf ball. We've been through a lot these past 45 minutes, but I guess it's goodbye forever wherever you end up.
Yeah. It's kind of sad,
don't like
especially if you fought for that color.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he spent like 10 minutes trying to fish it out of the river
so that you didn't have to pay the $6.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What am I made of $6?
All right. So as fun as the final carnival one is, it's not that. Let me pose a question to you guys as we have 2 contenders left. Tell me which you think is more important. The iconic nature of the windmill. Like you see a windmill, you think or I see a windmill, or I think of a mini golf course, I see a windmill. The iconic nature of the windmill, the sort of not storied past of it, but the connotations of it and the fun level that it provides where it's fairly high. Do you think that trumps the very high fun level and almost weird game of chess that is the cylinder in the middle of the course?
All right, I'm going to shoot
not flashy.
Right, I'm going to shoot myself in the foot here a little bit and admit something to you.
What's that,
Mark?
Oh, yes.
When Hal sent me the spreadsheet that you so beautifully laid out, and I don't know if you know, it's so pretty and has periods and everything.
I handled my.
I was looking through it, and you did a really good job of explaining the descriptions and like being as clinical as possible as you copied and pasted from the catalog. I can only assume. But
no, I did have to unbias a lot of them. I did try to unbias them.
All of them started with "wowee" at the beginning. Yeah, so you had to remove that.
You had to remove really fun from each one.
Super neat. Showed Control F. Super neat.
A super neat, super steep ramp with a hole at the top.
Eye catcher. This is a real eye catcher.
I did say, Hal, I want to add one, and then I realized that you were talking about cylinder because there's like no way for you to describe it. I tried to describe it to my partner Amanda, and I'm like, it's the one where you hit it in the hole and it goes down one and then it goes down another one. Like there's no phrase for it, even though it's as ubiquitous on the course. It is definitely not as well known.
Right,
you're able to describe it as the windmill.
But if you've ever played miniature golf, you know the cylinder,
right?
You know, if you've ever played, you know how fun it is. It's just not as visually, it's not the flag of the nation of mini golf in the way that the windmill is.
Right. I think, no, sorry. I explained too much about my thing.
Please. No, I want to hear your summary.
I think going back to the original thing I said at the beginning, which was, Silas Mini Golf, inventor of mini golf, on the 5th story of his beautiful golf mansion, looking down on you, and you're playing the cylinder, and he goes, yes, fun but challenging, a game of chance and chess, ball chess. It's golf ball chess.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the one, because again, with a windmill, much like what we talked about with all of the tunnels, is that there's probably a way to go around it if you don't want to deal. And you will probably only get 1 or 2 strokes more. Because when you do the windmill, unless it does have the channel, which most of the time it doesn't, you are not guaranteed the hole in one. If you get it through the windmill on the first time, you will probably get a 2 because it went too hard and then it went off the lip and then it went like 5 feet to the left.
Right.
But if you go around the windmill, you probably will get a 3. Because you went around and then to go to the green and then you hit it in. And like, I just don't think while if you mess up the cylinder, you either get a hole in one when gravity and the powers that be and engineering, which you didn't know about when you were 10, pushed your ball towards that, or you might get a 4 because something stopped up the tube you were in, or you're so far away or whatever. Or like your ball, even though you hit it in the right one, didn't go in the other hole because it didn't slope in properly. So like the toughness to success is still cylinder if we're talking best, because usually with mini golf it's more fun. Even if it's not on the flag, it's the most fun probably is best.
Yeah, I think this is a no-brainer.
What you said, you really got in my head when you said it was on the flag and it was the most important, because then like I think
I didn't say it was necessarily the most important. It says the most iconic.
Right. I think it's cylinder, but I'm feeling there's the nagging in my head that like there's a traditionalist out there that's going to get in the comments and being like, well, windmill.
Look, we did best MCU character and we picked Iron Man. I'm pretty sure we're allowed a cylinder.
That's true. Also, this is a zero-sum game. You will catch crap no matter what you say. Someone will be like, you didn't say the one where there's just a stack of Dixie cups. This used to be such a good podcast. And yeah, that person is a young Jim Nabors. I don't know how they time traveled forward to somehow start listening to this, but it happened and we have to deal with it now. I think it's weird. I agree. There's something really fun to the cylinder, which is the dumbest and worst name for this possible. I'd rather call it the Ant Farm.
I'm going to see if there's another name for it while you're talking.
Check it. Why don't you check a 6th catalog and see if you can find a new name for it there? But the only part of it that gives me pause is if I went to a golf course and there was no cylinder or whatever new name Mark will find for it that's way better than cylinder, it would be a bummer, but I would imagine that there are going to be other things. There'd be some combination of like speed bumps and hills and inclines and banks and those sort of rounded corners. We have to hit it up high to get the right arc to send it where it needs to go. But if there were no windmill, it would feel like something was missing. I don't know if that makes it the best, but that's the part that nags at me, because I do agree with you, Eric. Like the challenge of it, I do like to know which one I'm going for. I don't like when it's just here's 3 of them and see if you can figure out where it goes. But I also get it from a business standpoint, because it's telling you, oh, you figured it out. Now you're going to have to come play again at some point, because you're not going to get to do it now, because the family with 9 kids that keeps asking if they can play through is going to be there hot on your heels.
What I'm realizing now is what I'm thinking about, because Mark has explained the Dust Bowl version of a mini golf course to us that apparently he frequented in his childhood in 1955 Oklahoma.
Yeah. Next to the old Airstream. You've been.
Yeah, everyone knows.
Skokie mini golf.
And the thing that I like the most about mini golf is levels. I like going up and I like going down because it demonstrates like craftsmanship, and like it's fun if it's going all the way. One's very long, and then you need to go up and down and sliding. Why I kind of like the ramp, and why I like the fact that there is a river, is like you're doing more than just throwing some AstroTurf down. So what you said was, is there cylinder or is there windmill? Yeah, you can have a windmill if you just have like 100 square feet and some AstroTurf, and then you find a pendulum somewhere. But you can't do that you can't do that without levels, which involves like a lot of like building and construction, which I think is the hallmark of a good mini golf course, one that I will go to a bunch of times. Is that even if I know it and be like, oh no, this is actually really fun. This is the one where it goes all the way up, and then you need to walk all the way, blah, blah, blah. Cause like, I've been to mini golf courses where the cylinder is like 2 stories, you know? And like, that's really cool. So I think that I would be more bummed if there was no cylinder because it was just super flat. And yeah, I guess it's glow in the dark or whatever, but I mean, like, well, I avoided something because I'm so good at timing. Like, that's not fun necessarily.
I think I agree with you, Eric. Is this a consensus, Mark?
I think this is a consensus. I don't have an official name for it. I couldn't find one. But I'm just going to give you a couple of possibilities, since you didn't like the cylinder. The Mini McDonald Playland Tunnel, the Subway Scrambler, the Tunnel of Chance.
Ooh, hello.
Or the simply alliterative Tunnel Tubes.
Tunnel Tubes sounds like something that you need to get a shot for, and it's going to hurt really bad in your muscles for a while.
Yeah. Got to get a stent.
Yeah.
But you got to do it.
Oh, man, I had too many bratwursts, and I had to go get a couple of tunnel tubes, you know what I mean?
We're definitely calling it Tunnel Tubes now. There's nothing else to call it.
I do like Tunnel Tubes. I like Tunnel of Chance, too, but it is Tunnel Tubes. Yeah. I even levels. I was thinking about levels.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, or level tubes or something.
I actually have, I cut it short, but I also had level tunnels and level tubes.
Oh, there you go. I should be writing these catalogs.
You
then
should.
Mark will be on my payroll.
No. I had catalog brain. I was like, look, level tubes is good, but what's alliterative? What can I put a TM next to? Tunnel tubes.
Hey, this is some super fancy, really neato, wow, 2 loops in one.
But Mom, we gotta get them.
You can't just have one tunnel tube. You have to have the whole set.
Yeah.
Look, there's 2 loop-de-loops.
Tunnel tubes. People of the world, we set out on this obstacle course we call life together. And there were twists and turns and bumps and windmills along the way. But it was the tunnel tubes that got us to the promised land. They're great. I love the idea of the craftsmanship that they display. That puts it over for me. They're fun. They're challenging. It's exciting every step of the way. Even the thrill. You want to talk about the analog of sports? That is the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat in one obstacle, and you enjoy it no matter which you get, because you know the next time you can do yet better at the tunnel tubes. It's the best obstacle in a mini golf course, asked and answered.
Bam.
Yeah.
Eric Silver, thank you for coming on the show. This was super fun.
Yeah.
Tell the folks about Multitude Studios.
I absolutely will. First, I want to say one last joke was that tunnel tubes feels like something that people on the football team called me. I said it and I said agreed to it, and then I was like, something doesn't feel right.
Nope. Knock him out, tunnel tubes.
My name's Jeremy. Oh, wonderful. Yes, the Multitude Collective are a bunch of podcasts that work together to make shows about things that we love and showing off how much that you can love them too. We want you to come into the things that we love the most and welcome you to and have fun with all of that. So we have a bunch of shows. You can find us at multitude.productions, but you can find the show that I'm on, Join the Party, which I think is the best sounding and most successful Dungeons and Dragons podcast out there. I'm the Dungeon Master. We are on our second campaign, which has 11 episodes right now, so you can totally binge all those and then go back to our first campaign. It's a superhero, like modern day campaign.
Cool.
Where like a Lake Placid small like lake town, a scientist discovered a new clean energy element that of course had supernatural and super heroic consequences, and now there's a city the size of Portland where up like in upstate New York, like right, like a cool like metropolis that Buffalo is really pissed exists.
Oh.
And it's like it's a superhero game in that city, and it's a lot of fun. So let's join the party.
That's awesome.
I'm really proud of it. It's so much fun to run. We're playing another session tomorrow, and I'm so stoked on it. Yeah, and you can follow me at I'm El Silvero, EL_SILVERO. That is my name if I was a Lucha Libre wrestler. And you find me on Twitter, because I'm always on Twitter, and I want you to say nice things so that like the dopamine drip happens.
Look, that's what Twitter's for, right? Well, this sounds very cool. I'm definitely going to join the party. I am new to D&D, but I am very much enjoying it. So a podcast game where I can listen passively and just be like, nope, I'm just going to figure out better versions of how this works than what I know how to do.
Well, if you're new to the game, we actually can teach people how to play Dungeons and Dragons. We have 2 episodes in our first campaign where we like popped in to be like, here's what we're doing and here's how to play Dungeons and Dragons. So like if you want to try to teach or learn more about how to play the game, you can listen to those first 2 episodes. It's like boldly marked as beginners start here. So
look,
that helps.
I'm down. I'm beginner plus. I'm not quite to intermediate minus yet, but either way, I'm very excited to check out the show and to check out everything that the collective is doing. That sounds very cool.
Thank you.
And stay safe in Brooklyn. And thanks for doing this, from the other side of the country. Ain't Zoom grand?
It is. It's so nice Zooming with other people and recording and doing that. And it's like, I just want to record my conversations and then edit them down to be better conversations.
Yeah, that's
podcasting.
That's podcasting.
Podcasting, folks.
My conversations are great, but we need a Ken Plume.
Yeah.
This topic is closed, but there are many more topics to discuss. So please reach out to us on Twitter at We Got This Tweets, or
you can email us at wegotThisPodcast@gmail.com. Go to our Facebook group. Talk about your favorite mini golf memories. And if you hit my mother in the face with a golf club, shame on you. Facebook.com/groups/We Got This Podcast. Thank you to producer Ken Plume, researcher Kate McManus, graphic designer Uri Kelman, and QA engineer Jen Alba.
And thanks, of course, to our musicians, Jonathan Dinerstein and Mike Furman, for our score and theme song, respectively. And thanks to you, the people of the world, with whom we want to go out on, as soon as we can, on 18 holes of fantastic miniature silliness, the likes of which we got to talk about today with our new friend, Eric Silver. And that's all thanks to you. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
And for Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin. And don't worry, everybody.
We got this.
We got this.
And I'm Vincenzo, and you should come to my golf course. It's Mr. Wild Ride.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
So good.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned. Audience supported.